Hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about the game in La Liga and the La Liga rounds, or the game between Real Sociedad and Barcelona in La Liga and the La Liga table at this international break. And as you can see, Real Sociedad was a quick team to actually counter Barcelona, and they will use the possession of the ball, even though they didn't have a lot. They will use it really well to actually get some big chances against this strong Barcelona team. And it led them in a goal first half, which they didn't defend home against a pressing Barcelona team, but they kept Barcelona from actually getting big chances, which is reflected in their XG. There is this offside that is ruled out by Lewandowski where his toes was offside, and from what we learned from the Euros and other times, even if it's that small, it is an offside. I remember the game between Denmark and Germany where it was something similar. That was the offside. So with the introduction of this, when we use VAR, we do have offside down to the minute. So if your front toes are offside, you will be called offside. We can argue about if that's part of the spirit of the game and if that's correct and if we should get some leeway. But as it is now, that is the correct decision to rule Lewandowski's goal offside because of the precedent set by previous offsides. We want consistent refs. We want them to agree on offside. We want them to never not give offsides. So because they start giving offsides like that, they now need to give the offsides to when it also happens to Barcelona and every other team. Can we agree that there is a harsh line? Yes, I do think that if the toes offside, we should see, okay, but if he's facing the opposite way of the ball, then it's actually not helping him that his toes is offside because he still needs to turn his full body weight around, which doesn't give him the advantage of being offside with his toes. But as of right now, the precedent is if a body part that is in play is offside, you will be called offside. So it's not really a controversial offside, which I've seen in some news outlet call it, but like his toes is offside, so it is offside. That's the harsh line we are playing with nowadays. And as long as it's consistent, everyone knows that is a hard offside. Yes, in offside, that's hard for players to actually um, deal with because, as we say, it's toes offside, so it's not that easy for them. But yeah, Real Sociedad, they beat Barcelona and gifted them second loss in La Liga and the third loss of the season. But as we can see, if we go to some of the stats, Real Sociedad was just really clinical and effective. They only had the ball 30% chance, but they created more shots than Barcelona. They had more on targets. They had more big chances. They missed more big chances. So this was the first time we see this Hansi Flick Barcelona team really create a lot. The first time in La Liga, the first time I seem to remember from this season, where we see them create a lot and not really get anything out of it. They have a lot of possession, they have a lot of passes, but they never really got anything substantial out of the chance they got, which resulted in that I should not just need to score this one goal they did and then keep on. But they were close to score goal number 2. The Barcelona was to score goal number 1 if we go purely on expected goals. Which also seen the defense that and it wasn't even the keeper, it was the defense that did it well, because Barcelona's keeper kept them in the game. There was most of the times where Sociedad could score to 2 and 3, and Barcelona's keeper kept the game. But Sociedad's defensive performance in the game was really, really good. And it shows that when Barcelona, because in this game they didn't start with the normal lineup, they started with Lopez, Lever, and Rafinha. So they didn't have Linya, and this front three we have now gotten used to. Lamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha don't play as well, and yeah, Dini Mal was out with an ankle injury, and will be back probably after the international break because the international break will end on the 22nd of November. We now have and then he will be back. So he will be back next time Barcelona is playing an important game. I think it's not promised, but from what it says there, late November, that will be next time Barcelona is playing a game. Because the next game is on the 23rd, and then they're playing Brest on the 26th. So he should at best miss these two. If it was really bad and it's end of November, it's the 30th of November, then he will miss these 3 games. But that should still be game Barcelona should win. But then again, you could say the same against Real Sociedad, because they're playing Celta Vigo, so they're playing the 11th place, then they're playing Brest, which has been a surprise in the Champions League, and then they're playing Las Palmas, which is 16. So they should even without Jamal, but you can see like that they're missing some creative to open up a strong defense when Jamal is not there, at least in this game. I'm not saying they can never actually do that, but at least in this game, you could see that they were missing the creative outlet on Jamal to create some chances for Lewandowski, for Rafinha. So that was just a strong defensive game for Sociedad. That was a game for himself. I just got it. Here's a strong defensive game for Sociedad where they actually end up holding on to a 1-0 lead, but I wouldn't like it's holding on because Barcelona was pressing a lot and having a lot of the ball and actually keeping Sociedad to very little time with the ball. The Sociedad was well effective with the time with the ball. It was surprising. But yeah, they won the game. If we look at the first half and if we look at the second half, you can see that they were first back. But even though they were first back and had the ball very little, they still created a lot of chances. They were playing quick counter-attacking football and not getting caught in Barcelona's side trap. And that let them create a lot of chances with very little possession, which is also reflected in the first half and the second half. So let's look at the table a bit now when we have another breakpoint. After 13 rounds, the reason why we need to take the league table with a grain of salt is because of the terrible things that have, because of terrible floods in Valencia, a lot of teams are missing to play games or haven't played all the games. And as you like, so we cannot really look truly at the table and say, oh, this is like we can with other teams because the terrible things that happened in Spain in these last few weeks, which is why we haven't had a minute of silence in the Champions League games this midweek or in the UEFA games this week. But as we see, Barcelona is still on top, gets a second loss to Sociedad, and the first loss was to Osasuna, if I remember correctly. I just one. Yeah, the first loss in the league was to Sociedad. And it's again, this is how teams are beaten this Barcelona team. Very counter-attacking football and then being very, very clinical with your chances and scoring them. So yeah, Barcelona is still first and still has a little bit down to Real Madrid that has a whole lot of problems, especially if you're online these days. Mbappe is getting completely talked about, and everyone thinks he just doesn't fit into Real, which people could have told you before because you could see a bit that he was a bit of a prima donna. But I thought he would change his a little. There was because I'm the big fish. Now he's at the club where he's not the only big fish that he needs to go away, but doesn't seem like he's good at. So yeah, the La Liga table is hard to give a concrete conclusion on because we have a lot of games that's been postponed because of non-footballing reasons. So yeah, Real Sociedad beat Barcelona 1-0 in a very well defensive performance by Real Sociedad. That's it for this video. See you after to my left. There will be another video. You'll recommend by the algorithm down below right. you don't know me, you can subscribe to my channel. See ya with another league video after the international break. So yeah, Real Sociedad beat Barcelona 1-0 in a very well defensive performance by Real Sociedad. That's it for this video. See you after to my left. There will be another video. You're recommended by the algorithm. Down below right. If you don't know me, you can subscribe to my channel. See ya with another league video after the international break.